following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It is Friday, and you know what that means.
That means I should be doing music.
Go Dallas Cowboys!
That's right. I knew Producer Supreme would get a false start on that one. He did such a great job yesterday, and he's got so much on his plate.
Yeah, y'all put a lot on his plate today.
Exactly.
Yeah, y'all got a lot going on.
I was just waiting
today.
for that. So I went with a silent count.
Inhale, exhale.
That's right. And here we are. It is a fabulous Football Friday edition of Mick Shots inside the SWBC podcast studio, where we take our hats and our glasses off. Mickey still has his glasses on.
What? You're supposed to take them off?
You're supposed to take your hat and your glasses off. Didn't you know that, Mickey?
My hat is...
Have some respect for us.
My hat is in the car. My glasses aren't Sonny's.
Okay. We pay homage to Deion back here on the wall.
Yes, sir.
And how many points is Deion going to put up on Jay Norvell and the Colorado State Rams after that comment?
He'll put, in Grambling, he put 66 on us, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be along that fashion, I would imagine.
I'm guessing 40.
Just 40?
Just 40? No.
Yeah.
No. That's insulting.
Yeah.
He ain't putting the JV in at the end.
Oh, no. No, he's going to keep his son in the entire game.
No, there are no JV players who came in the transfer portal to Colorado.
Hey, by the way, Heisman candidate?
That's right, Shedeur.
Why not?
Right up there with Caleb Williams and Quinn Ewers.
That's crazy, man.
That's right.
For 2 games, right?
That's right.
Just think about that. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? You know, he'd come through here, and then the Cowboys would draft him, and then Deion would come here and coach his son. Come on, Spags. You'd love that, boy. You'd have so much work after that. That'd be too much going on.
I'd have to retire.
You would.
And we aren't going to talk all about that over the course of the next 45 minutes. But I don't understand. Everybody is in Boulder this weekend for their pregame shows, and Fox is there for about the 3rd straight week, and ESPN College Game Day, and everybody. 60 Minutes is there doing something.
Yeah, they really.
And
endorsements.
And they're playing Colorado State. They got Oregon and USC the next 2 weeks. In 2 weeks from now, they're playing SC. You think if they beat Oregon, they're for sure going to be back in Boulder for the SC game. That's going to be the 2 Heisman favorites against each other.
As I was going through the list of games, I didn't see anything I had to watch until I got 9 o'clock on Saturday night, Colorado State.
Yeah.
There's no, really riveting games unless it's Missouri.
Missouri and Kansas State is one of the best games of the day.
That won't be a riveting game either. It'll just be
that tells you all you need to know about how much confidence Mickey has in his Mizzou Tigers against the reigning Big 12 champion, the Kansas State Wildcats, who don't have Deuce Vaughn anymore.
Who pummeled them last year.
All right, we had Thursday night football last night. They had the Eagles and the Vikings, a 34-28 win for Philly. Kicking off our NFL weekend, Cowboys, Jets, 3:25 Sunday afternoon with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo on the call on CBS.
I've got one question.
Yes.
As bad as the Vikings played, how did they only lose by 6 points?
That's a very good question. And
they were atrocious.
4 turnovers. Fumble the football away 4 times.
So when they scored
because 259-28, that would be the rushing yards. Philadelphia had 259 yards rushing, and Minnesota had 28.
And lost by 6.
That's right.
Well, but each team is different. I mean, one team is good at running the ball. One team is good at passing the ball. Kirk Cousins.
One team's good at turning the ball over.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to pass the ball. That's their best way of winning the game. And even despite turnovers, they were still able to stay in the ball game. But it was always catch up.
It was catch up, and it was
They was
Well,
A
striking against us,
touchdown
but
that
it
was
was-
fumbled through the end zone.
It was
That was
10-7
tough.
until that happened.
that was tough. That was tough.
All right, so let's convene the competition committee here. What do we do about that rule?
The fumble through
The
the
fumble
end
through
zone?
the end zone rule.
Tell these young kids to quit reaching for the goal line.
Yeah, I don't say do anything with it.
Okay,
Leave
you're
it as it is. Yeah, I mean, that's a proper
You're
call.
good with it? If they got the rule like that, you got to
You
coach
can't
them
just
up.
keep throwing the ball out, thinking.
Yeah.
You get tackled. Oops. They like the Raiders. Remember the Raiders with the fumble? It was all
On
kicking
purpose.
forward on purpose. Yeah.
Well, they changed the rule on that.
Yeah.
of
right.
course, but
Yeah.
because
Or the Dave Casper rule, where
And the reason the rule is the way it is because they don't want people fumbling the
team.
ball into the end zone.
yeah, no, that's a good call. Don't change that at all.
No.
Now I heard others complaining about the formation that you guys talk about.
yes,
Yeah. And
that
see-
rugby formation and the rule of allowing teammates to push the player with the football forward.
And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I brought up to him that you had a little beef with that formation. You said people might get hurt. To my mind, I can't see how people can get hurt on that. I want you guys to kind of
Bill's the one that said that.
Quickly,
Well, no, and
talk
in
me
fact,
through
there's
that.
a lot of astute NFL people who are upset with that for safety reasons. In fact, a proponent of getting rid of that, who has some experience in rugby, Pat Kerwin, who's
Yeah.
on Sirius NFL Radio, former GM in this league, he's been on that soapbox all off season that you got to get.
I don't understand
and,
why.
and it's because everyone's getting so low to the
Yep,
ground, and
yep.
you got so much humanity that's going to
It's
come
the
down
pressure,
on the
the
top
pressure.
of somebody's
Gotcha,
neck.
gotcha.
And on the one,
I understand.
And he has experience in rugby
I would
where there
assume
have
that
been
once they're down
injuries.
there, then they would know to protect themselves.
Well, they can't at a certain. I mean, when you got
At
so
some
much
point you can't. Right.
weight on you.
Right.
Yeah.
and on the one, the Vikings were jumping over the top, which you can't do that on extra points.
That's true.
Right? And they're jumping over the top, landing on top. And on that one, I saw somebody had his arm behind Hurts, and he was like dragging him. They weren't just pushing, they were pulling too. It's just not football.
It's rugby.
Yeah. And no wonder they put up the thing. He's done it 3rd and 1 last year, 9 of 10 conversions. I don't know how you miss.
Well, I heard other former players talking about how they are going to deliberately start jumping. You know, some are going to deliberately start jumping over so that they can, get this thing really taken out of the whole game.
Right.
They're going to sabotage it, basically.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is strong enough on his own to get that first down.
Yeah,
His lower body
seriously.
strength.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, the Eagles survive. Well, I say survive. I mean, they, outrushing them by that much, they should win. And as Mickey pointed out, the amazing thing was how close the game was. They've got some questions in Philadelphia on both sides of the ball. Their own
Yes.
passing game, and Kirk Cousins threw for over 350 yards in that game.
How many times did Hurts get sacked? You got the stats there?
I had this, I think twice.
Twice?
I think, but
Because they were putting a lot of pressure on him.
I had it called up earlier this morning, as a matter of fact. So if you will stall for 2 seconds.
Well, then you have your receiver. Yeah, man, these receivers, boy.
Dante.
Nothing ever changes, does it?
On the deep passes?
Well, it was Brown. Brown said he wasn't getting targeted.
Oh,
enough
yeah, they
in the
were
ball
arguing
game.
on
They
the
were arguing on the
sideline.
sidelines. And I can't see Jalen arguing with anybody. I could just see him trying to be the calming effect
Right.
between he and his receiver during that conversation.
Cousins was sacked twice.
How about Hurts?
Hurts was sacked 4 times,
That's what
3 of them by my guy, Daniil Hunter, who somehow lasted all the way to the 88th pick of the draft in 2015 and now has 75 sacks in 7+ seasons in the NFL.
I forgot he was from LSU, too.
Yes, and he had about 3 sacks in college at LSU, which may be one of the reasons why. But if you saw him coming out, and,
What are the odds? Why would he all of a sudden be so?
well, if you look back at his time at LSU, back then the SEC was strictly a run-first conference, and you could tell he was coached to stop the run first. But if he pinned his ears back and came after you, and it showed in his combine numbers, he ran like a 4.58 the combine, and
God damn.
He is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and he's built like a Greek god, and it's no surprise that he's got 75 sacks now, 7 years in the league.
Hurts, how many times he run?
Jalen Hurts had, 12 carries for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns. 18 out of 23 passing for 193 yards, 2 of them coming on passes to Devontae Smith, covering about 100 and something yards.
They couldn't cover. Look, they're dancing with the devil on him, running the ball like that. At some point, you're playing with the odds. That's all I'm saying.
And you look at Philadelphia and what they have coming up now. I mean, they're having to sort through some things right now on both sides of the ball, but they have this going for them. It's 11 days before they play another game now. They have the mini bye now, and they're playing Monday night next week, the 25th, at Tampa Bay, and then they get Washington, and then they're at the Rams and at the Jets.
Better watch out for the Rams.
We better watch out for the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. I look at 6-0 right there before they play Miami on October 22nd.
Did you see that running game?
Their schedule gets a lot tougher the second half.
Did you see
of the
where they
year.
kept running the ball?
Swift?
Yeah, not just him. Where they were running.
Right
up the middle.
Right up the middle.
Right
That's
up
right.
the middle.
Yeah.
Right up the middle. We know who's up the middle on that. And every time I looked up, he's standing up looking all studdish. Like, yeah, I just opened that hole for him. Yeah. I know this Kelsey dude is a stud, boy.
Yeah.
He is too much. He just looked like a man out there every time they ran the ball. It's too much.
And this bit of news that has been passed along to me by producer Supreme, who is making amends for his false starts to begin the show. Eagles cornerback Avonte Maddox feared to have torn his pectoral during Thursday night's win over the Vikings.
And they were already without Bradbury.
Yep.
Okay.
So, all right.
So the Jets, they might
Yes.
have to find a kicker. Did you see that?
That brings up another thing from last night. Because
Go
Greg
ahead.
Zuerlein is their kicker.
That's right.
Okay, and when they lined up for the onside kick at the end of the game last night, and they set the ball on its side without a tee.
The little watermelon.
Exactly. That's
Yeah, of
exactly
course.
what we
Yeah,
all
that's
think
what
of.
that, yeah.
And so I was going, why are we the only ones, or Cowboys
That saw that?
observers, that know that that's the watermelon
Yeah,
kick?
yeah.
I mean, because both Herb Street and Michael, they was like, oh, man, they got it lined up on that side. What are they doing here? That's strange. Usually you would have a tee, and you would pop it up, and on that third hop, that's when you get it.
Well, no one
Now,
was
you
watching
can't-
that game,
You
okay?
can't do, apparently, it was against Atlanta.
I turned it off after they scored to 34.
you're talking
I
about
said,
last night's game.
This is over.
No, but I mean,
But
no
I
one
just
was
say-
watching the Cowboys.
Cowboys Atlanta
Falcons
game from
Right.
2020,
No
the
one's watching
COVID
that
season.
game.
Yeah, but most people are on social media, and it did go viral. So I did a little throwback Thursday, and I put the
Throw it in
video
there.
out
Good
on my
job.
Twitter
Yeah,
last night.
yeah.
CBS 11 Bill Jones, but I was like. I mean, it's almost like the Hail Mary. I mean, okay, you throw a pass like that, it's the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
If any kicker lines up a ball, it's forever known as the watermelon kick.
That's
right?
Exactly.
Now, he did not execute it nearly like Greg Zuerlein did, and I don't know that you can really execute it on a grass field.
That's
You
so
know?
true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
All right, what's up with Zuerlein now?
The grass slows it down.
Yeah, it's like
Well, it doesn't have the same English on it.
it really
You know,
really
we got
showed
turf,
you.
It has English on
Right.
it. You know, it's going to spin
It
more.
really showed you how Zuerlein mastered that kick. I mean, you got to have the perfect touch on it where it just barely
And
goes
you
across
have to
the
have
10
some
yard.
dumbasses across on the other side. that didn't- so let's just be real. Let's just be real. Continue, sir.
That's probably the key to it. It's not the touch on the kick. It's
If
who's on the other side.
Douglas is listening and he's always hunting cow bites, that's his cow bite.
All right. So what about Zuerlein?
Zuerlein sore groin at the end of practice yesterday. It wasn't on the injury report, but
Where did you learn of this?
well, Saleh told everybody this morning in his press conference after practice that Greg Zuerlein didn't practice. He's got a sore groin, and he kind of said it's it's not serious, but it's 50-50 if he can kick on Sunday.
Okay.
So
that could
what
be
they're
key.
going to have
A
to
game like
do
this one.
is sign a veteran kicker to the practice squad if somebody wants to come to Dallas, and then if he can't kick on Sunday when they warm up, then they elevate him as one of their practice squad elevations.
Thomas Morstead is their punter, SMUX.
And I think he can kick off. Mm-hmm. So that means Robbie Gould would be in play. Mm-hmm. But the same three guys are still out there. Mason Crosby, Ryan Suckup, and Robbie Gould.
I mean, it doesn't take much to bring in a kicker.
No.
A kicker just kicks.
And you know those guys probably been practicing,
course.
being ready for it. So, but yeah, that was big headlines in the.
Is Vizcaíno signed anywhere?
I haven't
Tristan
seen that either.
Or Liam Hallelujah?
Hallelujah. Or they could poach Maurer off the Rams. I think he's
No,
on
he's
the Rams.
he's active.
He's active.
He's.
Oh,
yeah.
did you see what else they
Brett
tried to
Maher,
do? They tried to. Where are my notes? They tried to poach Brett Rippon off the
Yes.
Rams practice squad, and the Rams elevated him to.
He's the first
53.
guy
I saw
thought
that.
of.
I saw when he was elevated.
Yeah.
He's the first guy I thought of that they would probably go after because he was the backup in Denver and with the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. You're looking for
Oh, that's
somebody
right.
who
That's
has
right.
familiarity with his offense. And I didn't realize at the time until I saw that story that he was on the practice squad with the Rams, and the Rams signed him to their 53, knowing that the poaching was about to happen.
And the Rams said, but they were going to do it anyway. It's like, okay.
Right. Well, and then they had their own issue with Stetson Bennett, who went on the non-football NFI list. And
Had a shoulder injury.
is that what it was?
That's what they said. It was like,
I just heard a quote from.
was he playing outside on the street or something?
Well, I just heard a quote from Sean McVay that what he's dealing with is bigger than football.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So, all right. What about the Cowboys' injury situation as it's on this Regeneration Friday?
Dr. Jerry kind of sounded like Tyler Smith, not ready to go. But if anybody that watched practice yesterday and saw him doing rehab on the side, I mean, he was doing the rehab well, but he hadn't practiced all week. And I think if you miss 2 full weeks, you probably need a real practice before you go out and play. So
it'll be
Chuma.
former New York Jet third-round draft pick Chuma Edoga going
Right.
at left guard.
Exactly.
What about Zach Martin?
Going for 2.
Speaking of groin injuries.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, I saw some surprising names on the
we'll
questionable list.
We'll see where
I
that
really
one
wanna see
goes
him on
because
there.
he did they listed him as did not or limited?
Limited.
Yeah. So that means he just didn't do everything.
Everything, yeah.
At least he was out there in pads, right? So we saw that. Donovan Wilson got some padded snaps in practice.
You're burying the lead here. Brandon Cooks.
Oh, Brandon Cooks.
That's what I was.
Well, I was going through my
Yeah,
Rolodex
you went
here.
back. You went the wrong way backwards on it, though.
And then Brandon Cooks. Well, that one was well known, right? Or was not?
Well, we need to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, like me, Spags.
Yeah.
Finish your statement, please, sir.
Which one?
Yeah,
Brandon Cooks.
man. Jeez.
So he has not practiced these last 2 days. He has a low-grade MCL sprain.
Grade 1.
And if it's grade 1, that means it's irritated. It's not doesn't have a tear. So
If this was
McCarthy
the Super
said
Bowl,
he'd play,
yes.
and he still could play. They'll take it.
Everyone uses that as the barrier.
Right.
This was the Super Bowl.
They'll take it. They'll take it to Sunday and
there's
see.
still 20 more games before this team plays in the Super Bowl.
But we talked
so-
about it yesterday,
Yes.
right? Because
counting the
we,
days.
I talked about how he was doing the rehab stuff and he was moving pretty well. So, but again, it was forward and backwards. It wasn't sideways, and that's the problem with the MCL problem.
So Dr. Jerry said something about it or not?
We're going to see.
Oh, we're going to see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's wait and see on Brandon Cooks.
Keeping those that information close to the vest.
Okay. And Mickey, are you
And
wearing
today-
a vest? You seem to be.
Yeah.
He is wearing a vest.
You want me to see what I got
don't think
underneath
he really
there?
thought that when he said that. I'm wearing a vest, yes.
And they don't practice today. They practice tomorrow.
Right.
So today's is an estimation type deal. So they'll probably estimate did not practice,
Okay.
and then you will get an update on Saturday.
He will not be ruled out today.
No.
Yes. Okay, we're just getting started here on a Mix Shot. So much more to get you ready for Cowboys versus Jets when we come back in a moment.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mixed Shots.
K-Pros Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, Mickey has given permission to open the phone lines here on this fabulous Football Friday edition of Mix Shots, 888-855-2297. If you've got an opinion on what's going on leading up to this game against the Jets. And so what is it that concerns you the most about the New York Jets? Obviously, their defense very strong, and starting Zach Wilson at quarterback and not Aaron Rodgers.
I always said yesterday, the running game.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me. The running game, the way they ran it well against a pretty good team in Buffalo, that concerned me. And also the fact that we were giving up 5 yards per slice in the running game until the wheels came off for the Giants. So, yes.
Until the Giants decided not to run the ball anymore
yeah.
after the first drive.
Scared the hell out of everybody for some reason. So, yeah, that's it. You got to worry about how we're going to control it. And once you start giving up the running game, I mean, let's face it, guys, you got good wide receivers out there. And, you know, Zach Wilson, if you let him, you give a guy like that confidence, you know what can happen. And with the Cowboys, there's always this Murphy's Law. Whatever can happen will happen. You know, you have to look at that as well when you prepare for a game. I'm not just talking as a fan who doesn't want to be frustrated. If I'm a player, then that's how I approach the game. Make sure those two things don't happen.
And their offensive line, now, they ran the ball well, right? But their pass blocking wasn't all that great.
That's right.
And
Mekhi Becton at right tackle, former first-round draft pick, number 11 overall, but
was getting eaten alive.
He only has 15 starts in his career. Left tackle Dwayne Brown has 215 starts in his career. He's at the other end of the spectrum, 38 years old, and he was a first-round draft pick all the way back in 2008, 15 years ago. They've got 4 first-round draft picks on their offensive line.
And when Aaron Rodgers was back there, he was pressured every time he went back to pass.
And he only tried 3 times?
And each time he was facing pressure.
And there was a reason why he got injured, right?
That's right.
So the Cowboys need to, if they're going to throw the ball, need to take advantage. You know the other thing I saw? And it was early. They were cut blocking. They were diving.
The tackles on the
tackles
pass plays?
were going down on the ground to cut them. And when Micah finished yesterday, when he was walking off, I said, did you see them cut blocking? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, you got to be careful about that. But he goes, I saw it. So you got to be ready to jump in the air and go over. But they were diving, yeah.
Was it? You think it was just to bring the arms down so they could try some quick passes?
I think so.
Yeah.
And
that was both of their first moves.
But whoever they were supposed to throw the ball to wasn't open apparently because it was like Mickey said, it was like I saw it one time with Becton. It was his first move, and then quarterback didn't get rid of the ball, and so within one more second, that player that he was supposed to be blocking is right on the quarterback.
So that's another reason why they got to stop the run, because you force them to throw the ball.
Force them
right?
to throw. But
and
you
take
don't want them
advantage of
throwing
that.
after having run success.
Right, because now that slows you down.
And
right?
you got the linebackers coming up.
But
and it opens up the hole
everybody
behind.
I talked to in there, they knew it, right? They know they've got to stop the run. And that it's got to improve over last year. I think
last week.
J. Ron Kurz told me, I said, well, last year, wasn't that good? And he goes, we had too many guys trying to make the play instead of making the play within the scheme of the defense. So it's almost like we don't need any heroes against the run.
That sounds easy. It's easier said than done.
But how do you
obviously
control
they were saying
yourself?
it all
right?
last year,
and
it still didn't get through. But as a team, it's just tough, and it's got to be something that obviously takes an entire off season, hopefully, to correct. And look, they still came out. Guys weren't really trying to overplay things. We weren't getting hit for big plays, but you don't want this to turn into that.
Right.
You don't want this to turn into that.
Now, I was looking up Wilson's stats throwing the ball. I didn't look on if he actually ran much during his starts.
Let's see, last year he had 28 carries for 102 yards, averaged 3.6 yards a carry. His rookie season, 29 carries, 185 yards, averaged 6.4 yards a carry and 4 touchdowns.
Not bad at all.
I mean, he can run. He doesn't run a lot. That was in last year he made 9 starts and 28 rushes. 13 starts his rookie year, 29 rushes.
So
I don't think with Aaron Rodgers out, you only got 2 quarterbacks. I don't think he should be trying
here's
to run
here's
ball
the
too
thing
much.
I saw, the stat that's
not by design.
Stuck out to me, and he had 22 starts. He's 8-14. Now that's not all the quarterbacks.
He's actually 9-14.
9. That's right.
He's actually 9-14. He doesn't get credit for his win on Monday night.
Right.
Rodgers gets credit for that. He
Oh,
played
wow.
4 plays. Yeah. That's where we need an official score in football. Like in baseball, you have to go 5 innings as a starter to get the win. You need to go at least 5 plays.
But a guy that comes in late gets the reliever. I mean, he gets
That's like Dak gets credit for that win against the Giants where he got hurt in.
Right.
As you guys digress,
Cooper got the yes, sir. Sorry.
he's been sacked
Okay, we're
69 times. 69 times for minus 558 yards. So almost 10 yards a sack.
And that's clearly because of lack of recognition.
Right?
He can't see what he can't see. And if the Cowboys are doing their job, they can keep him confused with our team speed.
So if you slow down the run, then that means you have an opportunity to give him less time in the pocket to try to get comfortable.
And we're known for that, giving a quarterback less time.
Right.
We are known for that.
So both sides of the ball, which matchups are you looking forward to the most? Individual matchups.
Well, I don't know that they've got somebody on their offensive line that we're going to sit there and go, well, they're going to shut down DeMarcus Lawrence.
Well, that's I'm looking forward to the matchups of the tackles. Their tackles trying to stop the pass
So
rush.
Tyron Smith looks good.
Yeah, Tyron's good.
Okay, so who's he going against?
Well, they have that wide 9 scheme where they put their defensive ends way out on the edge.
And he's bringing number 91 is coming.
And John Franklin Myers out of Stephen F. Austin in Greenville, Texas, had 5 sacks last year. Now, the inside guy, Quentin Williams, led him with 12 sacks a year ago.
No, that's the man.
That's the one you got to keep your eye on.
Yeah, we know about him.
You look for the A and B gap on that guy. But John Franklin Myers lines up at one of those wide 9 spots.
And that's interesting. Is that number 91?
91.
Yes.
It's interesting. Carl Lawson was not on the injury report, number 58, and did not play against Buffalo. He had 7 sacks last year. Really strong guy, 6'2", 260 pounds, and he's a veteran guy.
Doesn't he have to be on there and say full if he didn't play last week?
I don't know. I'm not sure why he didn't play. And they've got another second-year player, first-round draft pick, number 11, Jermaine Johnson.
Right.
Out of Florida State, actually started his college career at Georgia. He had a sack against the Bills. Their first-round pick this year, who the Cowboys liked, I know, Will McDonald only got in for 13 snaps in his first game, and he was 15th pick in the draft this year. So
all I know is when you look at the last game against Buffalo, I saw number 91 putting constant pressure
and in bull
coming
rushing
from that left side, bull rushing every time.
Yeah.
And that's something you can see the matchup coming, especially when you talk about, Williams. Was it Williams inside? The matchup for me though, if they get a chance to pass it enough, I'd like to see Wilson and our DBs going at it against each other. That wide receiver core is pretty respectful on their end, and they're very feisty. They battle for every ball. I'd like to see if he gets a chance, if Zach Wilson gets a chance to throw it down the field, I'd love to see those matchups.
Yeah. And then conversely, Sauce Gardner against the Cowboy receivers.
Didn't even think about that. Yeah.
But we need protection up front from either one of those to have
either
those.
one of them to happen. Yeah. Either side.
That's what I was looking at, that receivers versus corners. Sauce Gardner, who was the Defensive Rookie of the Year last year for the Jets, 6'3" guy out of Cincinnati, and very athletic, runs a 4.4. And him, when he's matched
he's
up.
Faster than that.
Yeah.
He looks faster.
Well, when you're 6'3", you're covering ground, right?
So, he looks really good.
And then either one of the Cowboys corners against Garrett Wilson.
That's why the pressure on the quarterback, that's how you control Garrett Wilson.
You'll see some good secondary play in this game. Not just good athletes, but disciplined athletes.
Okay, coming up here on Mix Shots, our picks to click and predictions for Sunday.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
That story.
Yeah, say it. Then the rejoins up and go.
Rally Days presented by SeatGeek give NFL fans an experience of a lifetime the day prior to the Dallas Cowboy home games. On September 16th, enjoy activities at Miller Lighthouse. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of AT&T Stadium and more. Visit attstadium.com/rallydays for more information and to get your tickets today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Get you ready for Cowboys, Jets. We make our picks. We start with our pod picks. Okay, everybody, all podcasts making their picks. And here's the question this week for the pod pick. Who scores the first receiving touchdown for the Cowboys? What do you? I'll go first.
All right. Don't take mine.
I'm going to go with the same guy that I picked last week who would score the first touchdown for the Cowboys, the first receiving touchdown for the Cowboys.
Which he should have.
Tight end Jake Ferguson.
Still sticking with that.
I am. I'm sticking with Fergie.
Mm-hmm. Stubborn.
I hope I didn't jinx him. I think I jinxed him last week.
I've got Tony Pollard.
Okay.
I almost chose him.
Tony Pollard with the first receiving touchdown for the Cowboys.
You can double up.
Is that me?
He's good.
Oh, you're good now.
Okay.
He had his hand in front of his mouth while he was thinking.
And Tony Pollard, by the way, had 3 receiving touchdowns last season.
If he does score, it's going to be a swing pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he does score first. But I say fade route, CD Lamb.
Okay.
I picked Michael Gallup last week. Did Mike even catch a pass last week?
He caught 1 pass for 10 yards last week.
I say CD Lamb.
He should have had a deep ball. Dak threw it out of bounds. He had the guy beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He threw it away.
I say
he threw it away.
He did throw it away, yes. He threw it away.
Okay, so you're going with the chalk.
I'm going
CD
with CD
Lamb.
baby.
There you go.
What's his nickname?
Oh, I just said you're going with the favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boy,
The
you're
chalk.
So cool. He's so cool.
Meaning
He knows
the
all
betting favorite.
Yeah, he's so cool.
All right, now
Yes.
our picks for the game and our picks to click in the game. Everson, you want to go first?
I am going first. I'm all prepared for you guys.
All right.
Last time we just we sucked.
We all got it right.
Yeah.
We all picked the Cowboys to win, and I came closest on the score. I had them with 30 points, and they scored 40.
I'm
He
giving
meant the click.
I'm giving more credit to the defense. I'm not going to have them giving up 21 points. I'm going to have them giving up 17 points. Hopefully, it's like an by the way field goal at the end. They're going to play very solid. Offensively, it's going to take us a while, but I think we'll get our wheels under us. 28-17, Cowboys. CD Lamb, 2 touchdowns.
CD Lamb, not 1, but 2 touchdowns.
The first and another.
Okay.
That's right.
And what was the score again?
28-17 Cowboys.
28-17 Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're sort of in the same
ballpark. You are next, sir,
ballpark.
according to my roster. My itinerary.
I've got the Cowboys winning, and a little of this has to do with the Jets having problems with their kicking game. So it's going to be 26-16 Cowboys. They're going to go for 2. They're going to go for. They're going to go for 2. They're going to go for 2 each time.
They're going to make it.
And make it.
That's how they're getting to 16 points.
8-8, 16.
Interesting. Not
Cowboys,
bad, Spags.
Cowboys need to work on their goal line defense.
Yes,
I take that back. I take it back. That's
like
not
that?
bad. Not bad.
Okay.
Which I thought of that before Zerline I knew was
All
hurt.
right. You picked
You picked the score. You picked the score now.
And your pick to click.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to pick to click.
That's right.
Yes, we do this every week.
Every week for about over a year.
You know what? I'm doubling down. Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
First receiving touchdown, and he will be the pick to click.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I had a final score that I just changed because of what you pointed out about the Zerline
So you're going to
injury.
pick 12 now?
That's not a bad idea.
They're going to miss every extra point.
All right. I've got the defensive struggle. And how did the Jets win on Monday night?
I believe
they won in
some guy
overtime
named
on a
Xavier
Runoff.
Gibson
Return
walk-off punt return. Well, this week we're going to overtime, and the Cowboys are going to win 22-16. Same score as the Monday night game, by
it's
the
gonna
way.
be Kevontae
On a Kevontae Turpin 60-yard punt return for a touchdown.
All right, this is supposed to be serious.
I am serious.
That's a good one, man. Come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Kevontae Turpin punt return for a touchdown.
Oh, in overtime.
In overtime.
Come on, man. It can't happen twice in a row, the same team.
It will.
With
Same
the same
score.
team being involved, same score. Come on, man. You are really – he must have a lot of money on the line. He needs to win this one, so he needs a long shot.
Nobody's
He needs a long shot. So we're looking Turpin as your pick to click as well.
Turpin's my pick to click.
Yeah.
No one's trying to look for a little history here. Last time the Cowboys had back-to-back shutouts.
Oh.
I had to go look it up.
When was that?
Man, that'd have to go way back.
No, the last two games of the 2009 season.
Yes.
They beat Washington 17-0 and then beat Philadelphia 24-0. And then went into the playoffs and beat Philadelphia again the next week in the wild card game, 34-14.
What year?
2009 season.
Yeah.
And then Wade Phillips.
The wheels came off.
Wade Phillips made the biggest mistake of his coaching history. They went to Minnesota, a Minnesota team that I think was like averaging 30 points a game. They were piling up all kind of points. And on the first possession, the Cowboys drove downfield, and they had like a 4th and 2, 4th and 3 in somewhat makeable field goal position. And he went for the field goal. Mm-hmm. As I was saying, field goals aren't going to beat this team. They got beat 34-3.
Well, Spags, sorry.
And then what happened?
It was
the next
way
season?
more than the field goal.
It went
way
downhill
more than the field
right
goal.
after
It
that.
only went
You're
down.
going to say that's the most important. Worst. It was way more than the field goal. If it's 34-3,
You have to be aggressive.
Yeah, golly, dude. They would have lost 34-7 if they would have scored. That's just it.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
And then the
come on.
Cowboys couldn't stop anybody the whole first half of the next season, and Wade Phillips was out as the head coach halfway through the 2010 season.
Because the offensive line suddenly got old overnight. They were terrible. Just terrible. Although Jason kind of turned it around
That's
the
right.
second
That's
half.
why. But in that season, we went 5-3.
5-3.
And that's why there was a priority in the draft.
Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith, followed by Travis Frederick, followed
2
by
years
Zach
later,
Martin.
the next year. Yep.
And next thing you know, you got culture.
And now you had an offensive line that you could run the ball behind.
A couple minutes left here. Is this a game where I was thinking about some of the memorable plays in Cowboys history and the kicking game when the throwback Thursday with the watermelon onside kick.
Back to where we started.
The Randall Williams onside kick return for a touchdown about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That popped into my mind. Okay. And then I got to think, is this a game where let's say the Jets are kicking off to start the game. Is this a game where if you're in the position of the Jets, you would start off the game with an onside kick?
No.
I don't think so either.
It shows desperation.
And their defense, so you look at it two ways. Their defense is good enough. And Saleh has so much. And it's a defensive coach. Defensive coach is not going to put his defense in that position.
But at the same time, he would say, well, even if we mess up on the onside kick, my defense is good enough to hold him at bay.
And worth taking that chance.
But it shows desperation. He's not going to come in with a bunch of tricks, I don't think.
That was like last night. There was all this emotion to start the game, and here's the kickoff, and what happens.
But you can also look at it though as if you see a tendency where, especially because all the kicks are going out of the end zone, and you see a tendency for the other team that they're peeling back.
You have to really see it.
Right.
And by the way, there's a difference between looking for trick plays and really trying to hedge your bets on little things
strategy.
like that.
Yeah.
Strategy, yes, I can see that.
Yeah,
doing that a lot. This game would mean a lot for them if they were to cover every base to make sure they saw everything.
And it's Sean Payton did it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean we've got many great
second half
coaches.
kickoff.
Yeah.
But he was realizing he needed to steal a possession because they weren't doing a very good job of slowing them down.
I could see a lot of strategy here. Yeah, that's about the best. No tricky stuff.
Yeah,
Sean Payton started his Denver career with an onside kick on Sunday. Did you not notice that?
I did not see
that.
Yes.
Seriously.
How did it go?
Penalty, illegal touching, and the Raiders got the ball.
See, and they ended up losing the game.
And they lost the game.
Yeah.
And they lost the game.
It was close too, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was close.
17-16, yes.
Yeah.
But I hope that just bringing that up, and I know that everyone back in the coaches' offices listen to the Mick shot.
That's right.
That will bring enough attention to it that they will be watching for the onside kick
very
to start
closely,
the game. There you
right?
go.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well, when we see John Fossil in the training table,
he better be ready. As much as he's hyped around here all the time, he better be ready for everything.
Okay, and Missouri beats K-State tomorrow?
I just hope they keep it close.
Wow. K-State's a Big 12 team. You're in the SEC.
Yeah.
You can't let a Big 12 team. Texas beat Alabama last week.
How'd the first week in the SEC work out, right?
And who's Grambling got?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Oklahoma has a cupcake.
Oklahoma plays at Tulsa.
At Tulsa.
Yeah. Going to fill that state.
You wear a Grambling shirt and you don't know who they're playing.
I don't know who they're playing.
Man.
I could look at the schedule right now. They are playing, I don't know. That's not. Oh, they're looking at, I put up GSU. It said Georgia State.
Well, you know what? When I pulled up Greg Zuerlein injury, it gave me injuries from when he was here with the Cowboys.
Florida Memorial at Grambling, 2 p.m.
What?
Florida Memorial. I've never heard of them. We have them at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So we're getting our first win, guys.
That's a W.
First win, baby.
Division II?
I don't know. They need the money.
We're all getting the win.
Florida
We're all
Memorial
getting
season.
wins this weekend. Missouri beats K-State. Grambling beats Florida Memorial High School, and OU beats Tulsa. And we'll see you
Why is
again.
Missouri playing K-State?
And we're playing a high school? What is that?
And we'll chat at you again on Monday at noon.
Go Cowboys and Grambling.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,